Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning. Pacers, good morning. Does that have anything to do with the team, the Pacers? Is that what you call that? Pacers? The 420 I think I get, but are you like in Indiana? Rhonda! I think I'm seeing Rhonda this morning. Pacers. Um, Indiana Pacers? Okay, well mine are the Lakers. Okay, but I sure like to. Didn't you guys have Reggie Miller? Reggie Miller? Was he with you guys? Help me out with that. Um, Help me. Am I right? Yeah. See, Reggie, UCLA. One of my favorite players ever, UCLA. And then he was a heck of a good basketball player, right? Pacers, number 31. Okay. Basketball, I like basketball, but I like football more. And then my favorite of all of them, who knows what Pops played back when he got out of high school and in the Marine Corps? What did Pops play? What was his sport? Derek Anderson knows. Kimberly knows. Pops was a rugby player. Oh, big time rugby player. What position did Pops play? Speaking of rugby, it's a little deflated right now. You should pump it up when we're going to go outside and kick it around a bit. I used to have such an educated toe. In rugby, they call it an educated toe. You're not allowed to pass forward. You can only kick the ball forward. If you pass forward with your hands, it's called a knock-on, and it's a turnover. It's the same thing as a fumble. Okay, so you can only pass behind you or laterally, and you're always making the ball available behind you. If you wanted to go forward, you had to kick it. I was a wing, the guy on the complete end of the line. Smallest guy, but you're supposed to be kind of fast and tough and catch people. You're almost like a safety, okay, in football, or a wide receiver. But every wing had a good toe, what they called a good toe. A good toe or an educated toe. That meant you could kick it where you wanted. You could target it. One of the drills, this is a true story, one of the drills, set up a trash can. One of these ones you use, big trash can for the trash in your yard. Set it up about 20 yards downfield on the practice field and practice kicking the ball into that trash can. Boop, boop. So that was one of the drills. Pops was getting so good at that, I could hit that trash can. I could probably drop it in that trash can 3 or 4 times out of 5. It's one of the reasons they allowed me to stick around, because it was like, that kid's got an educated toe. I loved calling it that. I was like, you bet I do. I got a big brain too, but you should see my toe. It's educated. Okay? Somebody get rid of that Puff Diddy situation, please. I'm not putting up with that. That whole thing's just people with billions of dollars and they spend it. So get rid of that. I don't want to hear about it. Thank you, D. Anderson. Okay? If you're still listening, sir, we just don't want to fill our minds with any of that. Not here. Okay? You guys could go watch TMZ and stuff like that for that. Give me 5 people that agree with me. There's 75 of you here right now. There's 75 of you here right now because you guys want to be here doing the right thing. Yes, I am a teacher. Okay. Um, 23 likes. Give me a few more likes, Jakob. Marcus, you know what we're talking about. Four Leaf does too. Let's keep it real. So we have a couple of things to cover this morning. There's other channels for that RX, okay? There's other channels. Pepe, yeah, that's what we do. We do grow shrooms. Yep. And once in a while we even talk about them here, but today we're going to talk about hallucinogenic medicines through history and the different civilizations. We're going to cover that a little bit, but I wondered if I'm going to freak a couple of you out, especially, is Sarah here? Sarah, I would like it if Sarah was here. Sarah, I don't know what Sean Combs said. Oh gosh, I get it. What's coming on? Why are we being trolled by that kind of crap? Get out of here, those trollers. Okay? Get out of here. You guys are smarter than me catching that. Okay, Jeff, no politics, no politics. Stick around. We love you. We won't do politics, though. There's Sarah. Sarah, don't freak me out. Okay? Did you know? Jeff, we really do want you here. Honestly, it is just, and you probably didn't know. But we keep politics, and especially only Pops could talk about religion, and I can only be when I talk negative about it. That's it. You can only hear negative stuff about religion. And I do it as religion as a whole, as a institution. Okay, I try not to be super specific. Sometimes you know where I come from, though. Okay, and we keep it light and beautiful, love, hugs, and learn. And let's laugh a little. Margaret Brown, we're having a good time. Margaret Brown, did you know? Margaret just stumbled in the room and said, what's going on in here? Give Margaret a donut. I'm gonna tell her something. Margaret, did you know that the characters Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street were named after Bert the cop and Ernie the taxi driver in that movie, It's a Wonderful Life? Isn't that the one where Jimmy Stewart at Christmas time kind of story? Did you know that? Margaret knew it. Margaret said, I don't even want a donut. Margaret, I love you. Thank you for being here. We pick on everybody new. Bert and Ernie were named after Bert the cop and Ernie the taxi driver in It's a Wonderful Life. That's a stretch. Did you know that dragonflies have a lifespan of, wait for it, 24 hours. Poor things. We gotta fly around, we're flying. We're zipping around like we're gonna buzz right by your ear on the river for 24 hours. Okay? Matthew, R.I.P. the day. Yeah. When you know you only have 24 hours to spend, but you get to fly, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Mike Baraball, if you could fly, but you only get 24 hours, and at the end of 24 hours, I'm sorry, you're falling out of the sky. Tell me, would you take it? Matthew's zooming. I don't think Mike's going for it. Okay, the longest 24 hours of your life. Here's why. Seize the day. Here's why I think this is true. Think about it. If I could fly, I probably wouldn't. I think if we could all fly, I think 95% of us wouldn't. That's not true, Pops. I would fly everywhere. Oh, yeah? You can run, can't you? How often do I see you running? Hmm? Hmm? I think I got you there, right? Just because you can fly doesn't mean you're going to. And I think it's going to take a lot more muscles than just a run muscle. Nerdy, you see where I'm coming from, right? Oh, I wish I could fly. Try running. If you get running down, we might hand you flying. Maybe the guys in the Olympics get flying next. But they've kind of earned it. The rest of us, couch potatoes, I don't know that we've earned fly yet. Okay? Swim! Swimming, that's another one. Oh, I don't swim. I can swim. I'm not swimming. It's a lot of work. You gotta stay up above. You gotta stay above the water. Okay? No. That's cool, JWO. And that's around a whole lot of helicopters back in the service. Portion of my time I was at Red Hill, El Toro Red Hill helicopter base. So, did you know that the word school, this is where school's kind of almost, when you're a kid, don't you think of school? Now later on, it's like, I wish I could just go to school. I didn't have to pay any bills or anything. But back when you were going to school, part of it felt kind of prison-like, didn't it? It was like, man, the teachers are prison guards. They tell you what to do. You have to, like, follow rules. You have to eat at their cafeteria. It's kind of institutionally, right? School never felt like, I'm going to have a free time. At least unless you were one of those guys that got the elective school, got kicked. Did you ever have a friend that got sent to the other school? He couldn't quite, and it legit. They just don't do the normal program, matriculation. So they get, what do they call that? Extension school? What did they call that, Waz? You know, you and I almost went. What did they call that? What was the school that they sent harder cases to? Did you guys have one? Options, trade school, alternative, that's it. You went to alternative school. How obvious. Not everyone knows you could go to a trade school because no, extension. It's extension or alternative. Okay, EMT's going to Pops. I think it was reform school. Billy, it's alternative. That's what it is. And it's like, which high school do you? Oh, I'm going to the regular high school. Which one? Well, I go to the alternative school. And it was always obvious. It was like you're not sure you should tell everybody, but yeah, I'm the alternative school kid. Okay. Did you know that the word school comes from the ancient Greek? Free time. The Greeks were having a free time when they went to school. We're trying to find alternatives, options, charters, anything to get out of the regular one. And we didn't call ours free time. The word school comes from the ancient Greek for free time. By the way, yesterday, after our program, when I had a little bit of free time, I did some fact checking on some of those things that I had said yesterday, as did you knows. And there was one or two that I found were wrong. So I have just to check it with you guys. The Pez one about Betsy Ross. I guess there are more humans than just Betsy Ross on the Pez thing. Especially recently, they did a collection of musicians. So that was, maybe it's just old information. Maybe I'm reading from an old list. But to clear the air, Betsy Ross is not the only Pez head. And then, of course, we're planning on mine. And one other one, the blink, the shark blink. It's we're not quite clear if it's a blink or a wink or if they're really doing it, and we just know they can use two eyes differently at the same time. But it's who knows if a shark is blinking or if it's just a reflex. We just so that was the other one that was maybe they didn't blink. Everything else, the purple, nurple, all of that stuff, it all fact checked out pretty good. Okay, so on some of these, if we have to do a fact checker situational, that's okay too. All right. Did you know that a dime? Wait, tell me this without looking it up. Without looking it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Somebody randomly knows. What's fun is I was reading these to myself this morning, and I was going, a lot of these I didn't know. But with 56 people, 70, 80 people, usually one person here knows this already. They already know this. Whatever, I mean, one of these facts. Somebody in here will know. How many ridges, those little ridges, are there on a dime? Ridges around the edge of a dime. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Challenge yourself to not look it up. RX, you're so close. RX. Jonathan's right. Jonathan's actually the one that got it right first. He said a lot. He's right. RX. RX. Add 6 to your number. Add 6. Nippers, give me a second. I'm going to count them. 118 ridges around the edge. What a random number. I know. 118. This guy, say, Pops, tell us something else about money. Give us another did you know about money. Give me 5 people. I don't want to be boring you with did you knows if you don't want to know. I kind of like did you know. They're easy. I'm learning. We're having fun. One more free? That's all? I want to go with like 3 or 4 more. Seriously, I'm like, I just want to know. Did you know that on an American $1 bill, there is an owl in the upper left-hand corner of the 1, encased in the shield, and a spider is hidden in the front upper right-hand corner? Hold everything. Sarah, that's freaking me out. There's an owl, a spider on my money? What? Okay, where is it now? There's supposed to be an owl in the upper left-hand corner of the 1. I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait. I see it. I see it. It's in the shield, not under the 1. That's the owl. And there's a spider hidden in the front, and you can see, I see the spider. And it almost looks like a spider web all around the 1. I see it. They're tiny as can be. Pinky. Boy, oh boy, you talk about some engraving. Penny Pacquiao, get a magnifying glass. Okay, seriously. What? We have animals crawling around on our stuff, but I can see it. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little dot. Did you know that it's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open? It's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. I guess no matter what, when you sneeze, your eyes automatically, boop. Did you know that the giant squid has the largest eyes in the world? The largest eyes in the whole world. Eyes the size of your car. 2 cars on its head. Streety, they're big. They're big. I feel sorry for them. Actually, I feel like they're really smart. I feel like they've figured out how to live such amazing lives, and they just grow and grow and grow, and they don't bother too many people. They just eat like they're supposed to. Sarah, squids freak me out. I hate tasting squid. It's one of the worst foods. How the heck do they eat that squishy stuff? I'm not much of a squishy food eater. Did you know? Think about this one. And we're not talking about politics here, but we're going to talk about England's politics. Okay? That's safe. In their parliament, they have a Speaker of the House. We have a Speaker of the House here, too. Right? Now, I'm not going to get into the civics. Everyone should know more or less what's the Speaker of the House's role and who it is, etc. Especially in terms of ascendancy to the presidency. It's I think they're 3rd in line. Speaker of the House, right? If the pres goes down, the vice president goes down, boop, next guy up, Speaker of the House. Am I right? I think I'm right. Did you know that in England, the Speaker of the House isn't allowed to speak? What? What is wrong with them? What? You're not, what? How am I? You're the non-Speaker of the House. Thanks, Waz, fact checker. Did you know that in England, the Speaker of the House is not allowed to speak? What if all of our guys weren't allowed to speak? What if they all just go there and it's sorry, you're the minority whip, you're not allowed to speak. Majority whip, sorry, you can't speak. Minority Speaker of the House, sorry, you're not allowed to speak. Speaker of the House, sir, it's part of the job, you can't speak. Why are we missing that part? When we revolted against him, we should have took that part with us. Okay, and spread it around a little bit. Okay? Bex, it's true. Bex is saying it's pretty, I can confirm this. Our speaker, we're smart enough to not let him speak. JW, that's so smart. He goes, hey, Pops, psst, what if we spoke? Right? Okay, this isn't politics, I promise. I guess it is. So let's move on. Did you know? This one's for Waz. Wazzy, did you know this? Hey, you guys don't know this. Did you know that Waz's shower curtain is green? Did you know that Waz has an oversized, kind of hangs on him very loosely, green suit? Did you know? Did you know that he spends time on the other side of the curtain? Did you know that I did not know that? Oh my gosh. I'm dying because of the people that did know. Because you're all the veterans. All the veterans are like, I knew. Come on, boss, everyone knows. The new people are like, why? I don't get it. Oh no, I'm dying over here. Okay, I'm glad Okay, did you know? But did you know I love Was? Did you know? Oh my God, the last Much Fest. I never stopped laughing. I would see him down the street walking towards me. And, and it never stopped. Oh God, did you know that the name for Oz in The Wizard of Oz was thought up when the creator Frank Baum, the author, he looked at his filing cabinet and he saw on his filing cabinet, he saw an A through N. And on the next filing cabinet, it was O through Z. Hence, Oz. He named it after his filing cabinet. The one that was filing the letters O through Z. Did you know? I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. He's writing away. He's typing away on one of those ching type of ching type. Wait a minute, I got to come up with a name. He's looking around his office. He looks over at his filing cabinets. There's two of them. There's one A through N. Look, look, look. There's one A through N. And there's one O through Z. Next thing you know, well, it's just going to be the Wizard of... It could have been the Wizard of Anne. It could have been the Wizard of Anne. So, we were this close. Did you know? I'm going to do two more. Oh my God, maybe more. These are great. These are great. I love them. Did you know that the microwave was invented after a researcher walked by a radar tube and a chocolate bar melted in his pocket? He might have been an assistant for Albert Hoffman. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing that one in there. You walk by a radar tube, chocolate melts in your pocket, and you're going, Bex, you've heard that one? I didn't know that. I'm like, really? And I thought it was just because my pants were hot. Okay? I didn't know that one, Bill. Did you know that the name of John Lennon's first girlfriend, you're wait for this. John Lennon, before he went Yoko. Yoko's cool. Back in the 70s, we didn't think so. This is a true story. Back in the 70s, collectively here in the United States, we were kind of mad at Yoko. You're stealing John from us. There was a collective feeling, at least with all the people I grew up with, and I think it was kind of American-y. We were kind of upset with Yoko. It was like, what? You're taking John, right? And you're like leading him down the sitar path. All of a sudden he's doing sitars and stuff like that. But the more and more, Yoko's cool. Raised great kids. Have the kids stayed out of trouble? Sister G, heard Yoko sing. I'm not saying she was that good a musician. I'm not saying. I don't know. I'm just kind of blabbing. I just remember us not feeling like super friendly about Yoko for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, now, Yoko Yoko's cool. Nothing wrong with Yoko. So he likes odd named girls, obviously. He went with Yoko for this one. Who was the girlfriend before Yoko? What was her name? Yeah, Bex, I would hang out with her. I would hang out with her for sure. What was John Lennon's girlfriend's name before that? Steve, no. Bjork, no. You're not going to... Hold on. Bex, is this one true? Thelma Pickles. Pops, can you tell us that one more time? Sure. Her name was Thelma. That sounds reasonable for the late 50s, early 60s. Thelma. What did her dad do for a living? I think he sold pickles. Thelma Pickles. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. We're going to do one final Did You Know, and then we're going to go read some stuff. We're going to go learn. I'm glad we had Bex here. We had a British representative for some of this British stuff to do a little fact-checking for us. Okay? Streety, I think he turned into a cucumber. He started out as a cucumber, and then he became a pickle. Usually that's the way it works, right? You have to start as a cucumber. Did you know that the only domestic animal not mentioned in the Bible is fill in the blank? Fill in the blank so we can stop this nonsense and go learn. Well, we're done learning. The only domestic animal not mentioned in the Bible is nerdy. Why are you so smart? Your smile is as big as your brain. Nope. I don't know that hamsters are domesticated, are they? No. The answer, domesticated. Yeah, according to this, the cat. Nerdy got it. Meow. Meow. So that was our Did You Knows. I really enjoy doing those, you guys. I hope you enjoy them with me. I think they're a lot of fun because we learn. We learn a lot. Yesterday, I was looking through all of my research notes and everywhere that I could. I was trying to come up with... Do you guys remember what was in the bag? Yesterday, we found a leather bag 1,000 years ago. Us intrepid time explorers found a leather bag 1,000 years ago. From 1,000 years ago. When we opened it up, we found stuff in there. Traces, too. Trace elements. But the one thing that was in there that we thought was going to be really interesting... Shawanda, what was it? The seed smasher? No, that's just mortar and pestle. That was Streety, the sniffer tube. Streety. It was the old sniffer tube. Found it. Okay. The old sniffer tube. Mayan sniffer tube. Bro, I'm going to tell you what. Back in my day, when I was trying to be Miami Vice, Santa Monica style, if I'd have pulled one of these out at the party, I would have literally been the coolest guy at the party. That is so cool. Are you kidding? That's better than the little gold ones we pulled out or that dumb gold spoon we had hanging on our neck or whatever. This, if you pulled out, excuse me, anybody that would like to, you could use my sniffer tube from 1,000 years ago. Okay? That. I'm feeling a twitch right now. I got to turn this off. My goodness. How cool. Those Mayans knew exactly what they were doing. That's what the sniffer tube looked like that was found And I don't know that that's the exact one. As a matter of fact, I doubt it was, because I got to tell you a story about this. D. Anderson's all in the street. I'd bump that. D, be quiet. All right? Streety, Streety, tell D to knock it off. I'd bump on that, baby. What are you doing, D? You're like overcool. Faux shizzle. No. D, where have you been? He's got a lot of stories, Streety. What do you mean? No old white man's supposed to know what a bump means, okay? Oh, he's going bump in the night. What are you doing, D? I love me some D. Anderson. He'll surprise you when you just least expect it. Good stuff. This Mayan sniffing tube. Okay, I thought it was made out of jade or something like that. It looks so good. It's greenstone, they call it. Greenstone. Okay, so I'm looking into this. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a millionaire, I'm not. If I'm a millionaire and I want myself a Maya sniffing tube for my collection, how much would I be willing to pay? Remember yesterday I was saying these are priceless. You couldn't put a price on one. How much are they really? I found this one at an auction. So I can tell you what the price is. How much should they sell a Mayan sniffing tube for? Man, I'd drop $500 for one. If I had an extra, whatever, I'd do a 5-spot maybe, just to be completely out of control. Maybe. RX is boning up 160. Jonathan, we got it up to the auction's up to 300. No, I'm at 500. Can I get 505? For look, I get 2 goats. and a child's heart. I treat a couple stolen TV. No, what are you, Derek Anderson? Okay. What are we doing here? So this one was at auction. This one was at auction for $600. It was supposed to go a reserve price, $600. And they estimated that it could go up to $900. So according to these auctioneers and the antique experts and stuff, this is about a $900 item, $750 item. It was passed. It went back in the collection and was given back to the guy. Said, maybe somebody will be interested next time. So nobody bought it. $600 was the starting bid. And that disappointed me. But by the same token, I've already started my, you know how you get a little envelope to start saving things? I've already put $2 in an envelope. According to my calculations, 4.5 years from now, on the Mayan calendar, though it's only like a year and a half, I'll have put enough money in that to at least start the bidding. So give me about 4.5 years from now, and I'll, well, I hope that the prices are around the same. Okay, so we did it. We did that. That was found in a cave in the Andes, if you remember, in the southern Andes. Do you remember that? Found in a cave. Experts believe that this shaman bag talks about how psychedelic plants were used in the past as holistic medicines. Psychedelics, I'm going to continue on with this article a little bit. And then we're going to jump over to our amazing book, Southern Andes, okay, in southwest Bolivia. Psychedelics such as MDMA, LSD, psilocybin, and ketamine have been gaining attention in the Western world as a possible way to tackle mental health crises. As this emerging field of medicine develops, and not without many twists and turns, discoveries such as the shaman's bag in the Bolivian Andes are shedding light on the role psychedelics played in ancient societies. Among these cultures, psychedelics were perceived in different ways. These different cultures used and participated with these psychedelics in different ways and for different reasons. Uria, a senior academic at the University of California, Berkeley, I think that's pretty great. Cal Berkeley is studying this stuff, said that the term psychedelic, listen to this, kids. Psychedelic is very much a modern Western construct. Duh. How much of this stuff is? Just even the term, but then we've developed these concepts of what psychedelic means that isn't close to what the indigenous people experienced or perceived psychedelics as. And I'll be honest with you, when I hear the word psychedelic, my brain instantly goes to, because of where my roots, I instantly go to flower children, buses, guys with headbands, sit-ins, communes, all of that. I have to work, and that's my first mental flash of psychedelic, the word. And then from there, I've moved forward to understanding that I use it and dispense it as a medicine, not as a trip. But I believe that Western society has kind of programmed the concept of psychedelic as trips. That's not what the indigenous uses, not that they didn't experience them, but that wasn't their first concept. Their first construct is, let's go tripping. And that was a huge mistake that was made in the very, very early 60s that highlighted these away from being mental health care and into social scare. These same kids, these same hippies that are doing this, they're also refusing to sign up for the draft. Well, that means the drugs are stopping them from being as domesticated as we want to be. They're not signing up voluntarily to go to war. Well, we got to cut off the supply of that, etc. Records show, historical documents in point 2, psychoactive substances being used for healing purposes. But that was just a part of what they were used for. We've sort of also been programmed, oh, they were perfect. They only used them for the shaman used them perfectly. I think shamans were just as human as you and I. What do you think? Healing was just a small part of what they were used for in their societies. Spirit medicines played a huge part in this. They called it spirit medicines in their literature. In building communities. They'd sit around I'm just using an American Indian stereotype of sitting around the teepee, passing around a pipe. They're not out there pushing and shoving and trying to take land from anybody. They're like, hey, come on in, take a toke. Building community. They use these drugs to build community. If you and I, and we come from different tribes and we share a mushroom together, we share a little piece of peyote together while we're sitting around a campfire and we've just met each other out on the plains somewhere, we're going to get along a lot better than if I'm shooting at you with a bow and arrow or throwing a big rock at you and slingshotting you. I like that, Jakob, common unity. It's pretty interesting, but literally they understood the value of them in building the community. They used them for sacred rituals. Every culture's got to have a ritual. What the hell? I'm so over rituals. There's something in the human program needs to have a ritual. It's like I'm an anti-ritual guy. But then there's so many humans that are comfortable with that. I use my brother as that example all the time. He lives the ritual. Day in, day out, same ritual. Same box, same 4 letters, just rituals. Kneel, stand up, sit down. Kneel, stand up, sit down. Wear the red coat, don't wear this. Eat this at Lent, don't eat that. It's all ritual. And humans get real comfortable with that. Ritual. They were used for palliative care, meaning preventive care. We're looking to take care of it before it becomes a problem. We know eating this kind of food's healthy for you. They were used for exploring consciousness, especially when you were phasing from boyhood to manhood. They used them specifically for this, believe this or not. Facilitating creativity. It's in their literature. The women sewed better beadwork. I'm not lying. And I'm not trying to be like misogynist either. A lot of those domestic chores, mother's little helper. Look around today, mothers that microdose, they're being so successful. It's that one little, Derek Anderson called it a bump. It's that one little vitamin in the morning. You're not getting a trip. Now all of a sudden you can handle all the stress and crises and anxieties of the whole day, all 3 of the kids, the side job, the house, dinner, the dog. They used it the same way. Guess what else they used it for? RX would understand this just like I do. Guess what else they used it for? Hedonism. They have mushroom parties in their literature. We're going to throw a party. They had mush fests. 1,000 years ago, we think we're like, oh, look at us, we're cool, we're throwing mush. We're doing what the guys in the southern Bolivian Andes did 1,000 years ago, and we found the bag. The hedonism RX, they're after it. And none of this is wrong. It's only wrong if your program says it's wrong because somebody programmed you to think it was wrong. Your civilization. Western civilization. Oh, we're taking them to trip. Records show that Greeks and Romans held seasonal rites involving the ingestion of psychoactive drugs. Seasonal. They were using a product called kykeon, which contained LSD-like hallucinogens. Every season, the Roman and the Greeks, we're going to do a bacchanal. Osiris Romero, a researcher at Harvard University's Center for the Study of World Religions, who documents the history of indigenous knowledge, says that psychedelic use likely stretches back much, much further in human history. I'm going to put the duh on that. My most favorite part is when I mention all of these people with all of these backgrounds and these PhDs and these CCVs and stuff. This is what they're studying now. This is what they're studying. Thank goodness we're doing it now. I'll pick up on the rest of this article tomorrow. I'll finish this article. There's a little bit more real good information in here. We're going to talk about some peyote, going back to when peyote was used, Amanita muscaria, a couple of other things that I think are fascinating. I hope you guys do too, and that you're not finding any of this boring. I'm trying to go through it pretty quick, but I really do want to get over to our book and give it about the 15 minutes. I'm just, where I'm going, where my brain's continuing to lead, is I'm breaking down this, for me, this Western civilization concepts and constructs that have been programmed into us, and understanding that the volume of human experience, it isn't even handed down to us because we're not supposed to know this stuff. There was a time we were literally dark aged out of it. We don't want to tell them that stuff. We got to keep control and stuff like that. We're exploring and coming up with this new information now, and it's expanding the world's consciousness for all of this stuff. And I like to keep very in touch with it. I like to keep my finger on the pulse. This is brand new stuff that we're learning. And changing our ideas of history. In our book, The Four Agreements, we were still talking about gossip. Right, Kimberly? That's very good what you just said. We were talking about gossip. The author, and we'll cover this because I hate the having to talk about gossip, but I also hate not talking about it because it is, again, I mentioned over and over, literally our most available poison and the one we use the most because it's how we've learned to communicate. We have learned it. We all do it. Well, not me. I didn't say anything. We could probably look into just yesterday and find a couple of spots in there where you said some things that would technically even be gossip. And even if not, it's our natural program to do that. We have to change that program to change the nature. And changing the program is, first of all, talking about it. This guy gives a really good analogy of using the analogy of the human mind as a computer. Gossip can be compared to a computer virus. A computer virus is a piece of computer language written in the same language all the other codes are written in, but with harmful intent. This code is inserted into the program of your computer when you least expect it, and most of the time, without your awareness. That's the sick nature of our gossip. When we're communicating with people that aren't being impeccable, it's the sick nature of it. They don't even know that they're implanting one of their bad codes into your program. They're not even aware. My parents weren't aware. Half my friends are not aware when they say these things that, lead to. They're not aware. I'm getting to where, I can tell you, my little computer programs weren't pretty good. I'm like, did I just get hit with a virus? Wait a minute. Boop. I feel like I just got hit with the virus. And now now I almost can feel it come and I get to accept it or not. It doesn't take long to get your machine pretty clean where you can almost bump. Oh man. What was that, Derek? I got a bump. Somebody just tried to hit me with the virus. And then the other ones, the ones that miss you, I don't go back and pick them up anymore. Remember? They shot an arrow at me, it missed. I don't even know. Oh, I got to go back and take care of that. I don't even go back and pick up the viruses anymore. I used to. I'd hoover around. Any more viruses anywhere? I didn't even know. And then everything I learned, I had to change how I acted because I didn't like your opinion of me and I needed it to change. So I'll be a phony baloney. Gossip, gossip, gossip. Hurtful, hurtful, hurtful. After this code's been introduced into you, your computer doesn't work quite right. Sometimes it doesn't function at all. Mental health, depression, anxiety, debilitating stuff. People that can't even leave their house. This is a real disease, mental health disease. And it's going, it's growing. In our society, they're not getting better, it's getting worse. All of these mental health diseases, why do we focus on them so much now? Because there's more of them. Why are there more of them? Because of the way we're communicating with videos and phones and cables and all of that instead of in person anymore. I used to communicate with you guys at the park. I used to communicate with you on the fishing dock. I used to communicate with you on the way to the library or on the parking lot. I used to communicate with you on the golf course. I used to communicate with you when I walked the dog. Now people don't do any of that. They're staying at home and hitting that computer screen. And then they're getting a bad system. Well, I don't feel very good about myself. Why? Well, I posted a picture and I only got 3 likes. How many followers do you have? 4. Well, you did pretty good. But I only have 4. Try being shadow banned for 18 months. It's not about that. The codes get so mixed up, we get so many conflicting messages that even if we're trying to produce good results, we can't. Even when we're trying. Oh, Baseball, our phones have turned out to be a real big deal. They're real. That is. We're going to look back. I love the fact that we can communicate it here, but I try to use it pretty much. My screen times are down to, if I'm on my phone, it's usually I'm either reading a Kindle, researching something, but I'm not tagging around, looking at. I don't have to Patreon it. I don't have to, none of that. And I don't use, let me tell you this, you guys, most of you that know me, I don't use my phone to make money. I could monetize this whole situation right here. We have enough followers, enough subscribers, and enough viewers, daily views, that we can monetize this. How much? Right now, calculate maybe about, honestly, to be honest with you guys, how much do you think? How much do you think Pops can monetize you guys for? This whole operation. About $2,000 a month right now, based off of the numbers from YouTube and this and that and this and that. Let me go grab that $2,000 a month. That's what's sitting on the table. We leave it there, Bill. And I'm not bragging when I say that. I'm exercising. I'm practicing. There was nothing that could make me pick up that bag. I'm already using their stuff and having to follow their rules. And we're, overall done a pretty good job of it. 2 suspensions in 4 years. And one of them was, absolute innocent. Well, both were innocent. One, I knew I was starting to skirting the edge. This last one, geez, I didn't even know that video. Bex, I wouldn't do that. There's other ways that I can raise money to donate, but not through this, and not through you guys, and not through the use of a platform that is about being impeccable. Human gossip works the same way as that code, that bad code works. Do you understand, nerdy? And it makes me feel good inside to do it my way. I don't care if anyone else agrees or not. I really don't. Oh, you're being dumb. Okay, that's a good opinion for you. Well, I would, if I were not for you or me, and I'd... Okay. For me, it feels the right way to handle my beautiful time with you guys. It's a free gym. I just wish more of you had keys. I wish we could figure out a way where more of you could pilot the show, not just Brock and I all the time. I haven't figured that out yet. It would take somebody would have to get their own channel, I guess. And it takes a bit because you have to have a certain amount of followers for a certain amount of time, and then they let you finally go live, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel selfish. I'm not joking. There's times I wish other people could, hey man, wouldn't it be great to have so-and-so up here for half an hour? Human gossip works the same way as that bad code. For example, you're beginning a new class with a teacher, this teacher you've been looking forward to for a long time. On the first day of class, you run into someone who took the class already. And he tells you, oh, you got that instructor? Nah, that guy's a total jerk. That's what your friend tells you about this instructor you've been looking forward to going to class with. That guy he was an idiot. He didn't know what he was talking about. Terrible teacher. You're immediately imprinted with the word and the emotional code that person was saying about that teacher, about that other person. You didn't even realize that he had planted that in you when he said that. For the rest of the time that you go to class, you can't stand that teacher. Every little thing that teacher does just bugs the heck out of you. Teacher never had a chance. Because you were imprinted and you didn't even know it. And you acted normal based off of your imprint. Because you didn't know you had just been malwared. Your teacher got malwared too, by the way. The guy with the biggest malware was the guy with the big mouth in the first place, that he was saying something about a teacher that he had no right to say. If he couldn't say something decent about that teacher, he should just say, I hope you enjoy your class. And if the person had said, what do you think about the teacher? You just give the experience of you at the class without your emotional poison. That's it. Just be impeccable. The most you could possibly be planting in someone else with that is truth. All of this is messed up. It's caused by one little computer virus, one little piece of misinformation. And it gets planted in us and it festers, and we don't even know we have these little pieces of information all around inside of us. Yeah, Billy D, the weeds we sow with the seed, with the words we use. We just can't even believe how powerful we are. One little piece of information can break down the communication between people, causing every person it touches to become infected and contagious to others. The one boy that was walking around talking about that teacher, he's infected. He doesn't know it. He's infected and he's contagious to others. He's walking around being a living contagion. Talking about, and this teacher may be the best teacher, and 8 other people in the class, same class like this, best teacher I've had all year. Imagine that every single time others gossip to you, they are inserting a computer virus into your mind. They're causing you to think just a little less clearly each time. They're literally adding fog into your brain. So is TMZ and every one of those other pieces of craps that we watch on TV. Let me go turn on the fog machine. I'm going to sit down in front of this and I'm going to listen to their opinions about people they know nothing about because they saw them get out of a limousine and they stuck a microphone in their face. And I don't care about the guy in the first place or what the guy in the limousine's doing. I got a bunch of mushrooms I got to harvest. Every time you allow gossip to come to you, you're letting it get into your brain. Well, I'm not gossiping. Are you listening to gossip? Well, I'm not. Are you listening to it? You're allowing your brain to be fertile for more. I would prefer that you go listen to wind blowing through the trees, maybe a little Bach and Beethoven, maybe, I don't know, maybe read poetry out loud. Watch what happens. Your brain's like, hey, poetry. Wow, I'm talking to myself. This is good. And you're not saying anything negative about anybody, and you're just learning. There's all kinds of things you could do to fill your brain with something besides it. Putrid crap that we communicate with each other. That's fed to us. It's siphoned to us. Remember the beer bong? Matthew Seliger and I knew. Matthew, he held me upside down one time at one of our beer keg parties. Matthew, if you've seen Matthew's big, strong man, big, handsome guy. He was the one holding Pops upside down on, I was doing a headstand on a kegger. Do you remember that, Matthew? And they were like, they had the beer bong, they were kegging it into me. That's the same thing that society does with gossip. You're on the keg. You are literally on the keg. Squirming, someone's holding you up there. More. Okay, guys, I'm good. Are you? When are you going to be done? When are you going to get off the keg? Wazzy, keg stand. Done it 1,000,000 times. And anybody do a gossip stand? I have. Anybody ever done a gossip stand? Yeah. Nowadays, I see the keg coming. Like, I'm not going near that frickin' keg. No way. I don't even go to the parties that have them. It's got a gossip keg there? Nah, I'll just take a pass. I don't need to go there. I don't even need to go there. And you start finding out. It starts becoming a lot clearer if there's going to be a gossip keg there or not. Katie says, yep, it was called a phone line. We still have them. Imagine the confusion that you have in an effort to clean up your own confusion and get relief from poison and gossip. And hey, maybe you're spreading some of the virus to someone else. Hey, maybe. If you're catching viruses from someone, do you think you might be spreading one? Weren't we all supposed to wear masks? Now imagine that this pattern is going around with every human being that lives on Earth. every single human being that lives on earth is gossiping. Is communicating with emotional poison. The results of a world full of humans who can only read information through circuits that are clogged with poison and contagious veins. Once again, this poison is called, what do the Toltecs call it? What do the Toltecs call this poison? The cloud around our world that we use, that we create the cloud. Never, you get an A. Never move to the front of the class. If your desk isn't already in the front row, I need to move you. It's the matote. That's right, Paige. That's the fog the Toltecs tell us about. It's funny the Toltecs know about it too. I guess the Toltecs were gossiping. I guess the Mayans might have been too. Put down that sniffer tube and let's gossip about the other tribe. Let's make fun of that one lady's beadwork. I guess if they had matotes back then, people were talking, I guess people were already starting to gossip. Even worse are the negative magicians, sometimes called computer hackers, in this vein, who intentionally spread the virus. Early on, year one, we had a girl in the crew, and then she came to a mush fest, and I'll never forget her because she was an intentional spreader. An intentional spreader. Caused a lot of damage, more to her because she lost every friend that she was building. We're building a whole network to bring her along and help, and let's all help each other and hug and love each other. And you just worked your way out of it because you were so poisonous. You were so poisonous that nobody wanted to even be, I mean, your poison was like overt. Like people saying, okay, enough. And then 4 weeks later, they're still talking about something that happened and nobody cares. There's a lot of them. I don't run into them all because I avoid them. But there's so many people, especially people that are lonely, don't have a lot else to do. So they fill up their loneliness hole with emotional poison. They fill up their loneliness hole with emotional poison. Please understand. That's not, I doubt that very many people here, I'm preaching to the choir because we're all practicing. We're at the gym at least. We're here, we're gonna work on it. This is for awareness's sake. It's also compassion. It's compassion. There was a great spiritual leader said, forgive them for they know not what they do. So just forgive them. There's nothing I hold against them. They don't even know it. They know not what they do. Yeah, it was somebody else. It wasn't the one in Australia, though. It wasn't the one in Australia. But it was the same initials. And that's something that's super important to understand. Most people don't know what they're doing. That's our opportunity to serve them. Not go in and teach them and judge them and show them I know. And it's like, you know what? There's an easier, softer way. There's an easier, softer way. If we can work those programs out and put 4 new ones in that are just health-filled, and I can tell you that they work because we have empirical evidence. We see people who it works on. There's a guy I was going to tell you about today. I'm going to read the article tomorrow. He's a doctor. No, he's a millionaire. Millionaire. And he just gave a $5 million endowment to a company to continue psychedelic researches. You look a little bit into him, the Bob and Renee something foundation. You look a little deeper into it, this guy was an ex-Marine. I'm going to just say Marine because nobody's an ex-Marine, once a Marine, always Marine. But he's a Marine. He had PTSD experiences from his Marine Corps service. He tried hallucinogenics, psychedelic drugs, to help him with his PTSD. And he said, you know what? Now that I'm a millionaire, I can tell everybody what I did and that it worked. That it changed everything. That it launched me. And I need to give back. I'll tell you about this guy tomorrow. Dropped to $5 million because he put his money where his mouth is. Pretty good. Pretty good. He put $5 million into this company that's doing research and development. And he's not for profit. It wasn't like, hey, I'm a millionaire and I want to make more millions off of the millions. No. Let's do nonprofit as much as we can. Just like they're doing over there in the Colorado Micro League. Let's do nonprofit as much as we can. You'll notice something too. In my experience, I should say I've noticed, instead of you'll notice. I've noticed something. Yeah, Wazzy, I'll tell you about this guy tomorrow. It's a great article. My experience is real nonprofit, not the ones that have been made up so that the guy that owns the nonprofit makes a $350,000 salary and 2 or 4% of the money that's donated actually makes it into the field for actual help. How about those nonprofits? I like the nonprofits where nobody's really getting too paid. Maybe, operational fee, that's it. You'll notice the nonprofit organizations that seem to be being run with impeccability, there's not a lot of gossip around them. There's not. Most of them you've never even heard of and never will. They're grinding. They're just doing the work. If you heard about them, it probably wouldn't be a good thing. Like we hear about these churches of crap. Probably wouldn't be a good thing if you heard about them. We'll talk some more tomorrow. We're almost done here with the gossip angle, and then we get into a more positive spin about how to use our word. And Nerdy just said it. Just do the work. Just do the work. We do that here every day. You guys that show up here every day are doing work. If you push the button and you made it here, you're already so far ahead in your own personal growth game. And I mean that. I'm not saying that to shine anybody's apple or make them feel... I want you to know that it's a little unusual. It's a little unusual. That's because you guys are a bunch of weirdos. A bunch of unusual characters here. Am I right, Doc? Marcus? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. 10:21, I ran long again. I just love talking to you guys. I love being here. I love how you guys give me an up and give me a place to serve. To serve. And if I can serve, if I start my day by serving, I usually end my day serving somewhere. If I start my day looking out for myself, I usually end up in some selfish hole somewhere. Yeah. So starting my morning serving and practicing is as healthy as I can do. Let's go serve. Have a good day, Sarah and Marcus Yaman. And Michael Patterson, I love you. And Jonathan Spell, thank you, you bet. Jesus Christ in Australia. Nippy, you are definitely one. Billy D, but a pretty one. So you're doing fine. Freddie, D. Anderson, and Marcus and Herbs. And Bex, I'm so glad you were here this morning. Satter and Free, have a great day, my friend. Jacob, and Satterwolf and Laura, have a divine day. King Metro, I love that guy. King, you always have something great to say. Pacers, go Indiana. Thank you, Billy D. And Penny Pack, the pulverizing Penny. Vagues, see you on the elevator. Nippy and RX, loving you. Trent, there's my man. Freddie the Hinks. Oh, Jesus Christ. And JW Owen all around them helicopters. Mushmouth and Debbie the Pearl. Nerdy and Waz, I love you, Waz. D. Anderson, Cleany. Snap! Oh, I got you, Cleany. Tiffany, there she is. Jesus Christ, and Pidgey Page, Mr. Phillips, and Jonathan. And Streety, there's my big, strong Streety. Jesus, and Jacob, and Waz, and Cleany, and Bex, and Four Leaf, and Jimmy the Max, all the way to the Max, and 5280, all the way to the day. Mike Baraball, and Justin, he's just okay. Med Rosie. Herbs, Pops, Paige, Johnzook, Pops, Peace. 4 things. Be impeccable. Don't take things personal. Don't have expectations. Do your best. Just today.